Goodness. All right, Darren, thank you very much. And that is the BBC News at 10 for tonight. Now, let's join our colleagues for the news wherever you are. From the team here, good night.
Hello there, good evening. Work is underway to repatriate the body of the former First Minister Alex Salmond to Scotland following his death in North Macedonia yesterday. In a statement released tonight, his family said he was admired across the world. Lindsay Buse reports.
We seem like we're well on the road to becoming the country which produces 10 times its electricity requirements and yet has a substantial percentage of its old people who freeze in the winter.
This was Alex Salmond's last public appearance. The former First Minister was attending a conference in North Macedonia aimed at inspiring the next generation of leaders. After speaking on a panel on Friday, Mr Salmond collapsed suddenly during lunch on Saturday afternoon. The organiser, a friend of the former First Minister pictured with him here, said he'd been in good spirits.
All of a sudden at lunchtime, he was sitting across, basically he collapsed. He was sitting, but basically he fell back into the arms of actually one of the other speakers. I immediately went to the front desk to ask for an ambulance, and by the time I came back, he was on the floor, and they were trying CPR and everything. It really, time stopped. The entire hotel, the entire conference, everyone was in shock. Most of the participants here were young leaders. None of them had ever experienced anything like this. And I think there was a feeling of shock. There was a feeling of lost. No one really knew what to do.
A service of remembrance was held last night, attended by the country's president.
I shared a prayer, actually a prayer that I had shared at the funeral of my father a few years ago. And that was, I think, important for us all, just to have a moment all to come together and pause in the honour of Alex.
It's understood arrangements are now being made for the repatriation of Mr Salmond's body.
Which has obviously been a profound shock to his colleagues, his family, his loved ones and everyone. So in the here and now, we're just there for his family to give him as much support we can, and the reason I'm going out to Macedonia is to make sure that Alec gets all the support he deserves on the ground so that we can get him home as quickly as possible.
Those who were close to the former First Minister want to see him brought home to the country he fought for his whole political life. Lindsay Buse, reporting Scotland.
Well, more now on that statement released by Mr Salmond's family tonight. They said that Alex was a formidable politician and admired throughout the world. They said he dedicated his adult life to the cause he believed in, independence for Scotland. But to us, they said, first and foremost, he was a devoted and loving husband and a faithful and trusted friend. Well, many have been reflecting on Alex Salmond's impact on Scottish and British politics. Here's our political correspondent, Andrew Kerr.
The northeast of Scotland became Alex Salmond's political home. He first started representing Banffin at Westminster in 1987. The news of his sudden death has shocked people in Peterhead.
Didn't agree with a lot of things that he did for Scotland, but it is sad that he's passed so soon.
So I've always thought he was really interested in the local community and what we were doing. So yeah, it was sad to hear that he passed away.
The former First Minister once walked the corridors of power at Holyrood, but later on he was distanced from the government he once led, falling out with the SNP leadership. Appearing on TV this morning, the First Minister was measured in his tribute.
I obviously worked closely with him, and it was a working relationship that we had. We focused on what we had to do to make sure that we built the SNP and that we were successful.
From a friend of more than 60 years and Alpa Party colleague, a reflection on their political journey.
When Alec persuaded me to join the SNP, a referendum on an assembly had been lost. A Scottish Parliament seemed a forlorn hope. And as for independence, that was for cranks or dreamers.
This is the most comprehensive.
The former leader's chief of staff also spoke.
I was in the room when he did his resignation speech, and he said that the dream of independence shall not die. It's not dead, and it's not dead because of the work of Alex Salmond, and it's for others now to ensure it stays alive.
You're here.
The emotion was all too apparent. At the family home in Aberdeenshire, floral tributes remembering a significant force in Scottish politics. Andrew Kerr, reporting Scotland.
Time for a look at the weather now at the beginning of the working week with Callum.
Hello there, Karen. Hello there, folks. Well, look at a weak front pushing into the west. It'll split in two overnight. Most of its energy will go up into the northwest, and still a ridge of high pressure, bringing mostly settled conditions for many of us tomorrow. So we've got our thickest cloud across central, southern, western Scotland tonight. The odd spit or spot of rain out of it possible, but most of the rain will be shearing up into the northwest with a gusty southerly wind here in the Western Isles, the west coast. Milder here, but the further east and north-east you go, the colder it will get. Areas of frost, coldest for North Highland and into Grampian. Into tomorrow then, some areas of low cloud to start the day will burn off, and then it'll be mostly dry, fine with good spells of sunshine, but more cloud into the northwest, and that will bring some spits and spots of rain, but most of it will become confined to the Northern Isles through the course of the day, and highs generally into the low teens. That's you up to date on the weather front. Back to you, Karen. Thanks very much for that, Helen. And that is all from us this evening. From everyone here on the Late team, have a very good night. Take care. Bye-bye.
You know,